Okay, let's try this again. Hi, this is Jojo La Manzanita. I know I was doing stories about my wedding disaster, but this is actually going to be a different story because it's a little bit, in a way, recent. This is about my crazy neighbor. I don't know if you guys have crazy neighbors and what do you guys deal with. I would like to know because I'm going to go insane. So I would like to know if you guys go through something similar. So let me start from the beginning and tell you our story. Back, I believe, I'm not even gonna say what month because I'm bad with dates. Back about almost 3 years ago, we were looking to change houses and lease out another house that would be more convenient for our family. We found a place that actually has a guest house in the back and a house in the front, and we thought this would be a perfect idea because Martin and I were just gonna get married and we wanted our own place. So my mom and I had traveled to Mexico, in which the time she stayed, I went to go and get or pick out a wedding dress. We came back and we decided to move and surprise my mom with something that was a lot more convenient for our family. So we relocated, and still inside of Houston, right? We relocated and we went ahead and rented out a home. We moved in, and our neighbor seemed nice.
A little too nice.
And everything was fine, everything was great, except for the fact that she always wanted to be inside out of our house, knowing everything that was going on, all of our little problems, every little thing. But she always wanted to be here like if she lived here. And my dad, I know you guys, some of you guys know, my dad's a pastor, and he's very serious when it comes to things that do not look right. So with his wife being far away and with his kids constantly working and not always being home, except for my younger sister who was actually currently looking for a job, she was the only one there. But sometimes this lady would always, she would come by and she would want to just be inside the house. And my dad explained to her, like, look, we can't always have you in here because we don't always have time to, attend and attend our guests and things like that. Like, we would prefer that you call us and we'll let you know when you can swing by, or we'll get together sometime. But with us being so busy, we don't have time to always bring you in. So my dad explained to her the best way he could that she couldn't always be in our house. This lady kind of took it a little personal, but later on my mom comes from Mexico. By this time I was about to get married and all that. The wedding happens. A few months go by, and this lady begins to knock on our door and say,
hey, can your son so-and-so take me to Walmart?
My mom was like, well, I would be more than happy to take you. I have a driver's license. Or my daughter also has a driver's license, or my other younger daughter as well.
No, I want your son to take me.
A little strange, but this was always like we started noticing a weird pattern. Like, it was always just
I want your son, or I want your son-in-law, or I want your your younger son to take me.
And it was just like she would only ever want the guys from the house to either fix her cable, fix her dishwasher, help her with something that has to do with electrical, wires or whatever. And we would always explain to her, well, it would be best if you called an electrician because we're not sure how to handle that issue. Well, the guys would say that. Or I think that you maybe should call, I don't know, maybe a guy from Comcast or a guy from this and this to come and check that because we're not specialized in that issue. One time she specifically asked my husband.
She was like, hey, is your son-in-law home? I would like him to help me with this cable issue.
And my mom was like, oh, he doesn't specialize in cable. If you would like, it would be easier for you to just call a Comcast cable person or someone who you have service with so that they could come and look at whatever issue you're having. Because the people here, they don't really specialize in any of that. But if there's anything else we can do...
She's like, no, that's fine.
So she left. There started being a little bit of a... My mom being here, there was a little bit more of a distancing of that lady with us, and she started kind of side-eyeing us, and then started complaining to the landlord for every little thing. Like one time we had a flat tire So we put the spare on it so that we could go and repair the tire somewhere else. And she's like, oh, they're over here dismounting motors and changing some weird, I don't know what, from the car, from the vehicle. So she started complaining for every little thing. Like, if we let the dogs out to go and do their business, she would complain. And our dogs do not bark unless they have to.
So you try to break into our entrance, they're going to bark on sight. They're going to bark, and if you come into the territory and try to harm us, they're going to do more than just bark.
This lady was more upset than anything. And one day, well, Martin and I went to Puerto Rico for Valentine's Day and our wedding anniversary, celebrating a little bit late. We come back, and this was about a Friday night that we came back, real late at night, and then or Saturday, I'm not sure, but on a Sunday, my mom, since she didn't really have time to go out with my dad on Valentine's Day, because she was actually taking care of my niece and nephew, so that my brother can take out his wife for Valentine's. So now it was my mom's turn. So we were making sure that we were making her like all like dressy and pretty and everything, and dolling her up and all that. And she was actually at my house, and we were doing everything for her so my dad wouldn't see, we wanted to surprise him. So Blue was outside. I took her outside because she needed to go to the restroom, and then she started barking. So whenever she barks, I have the tendency to just look outside to see what she's barking at. So when I look, I see that the neighbor is putting her hand through our front gate, like standing in front of our gate, putting her hand through our gate with something in her hand. And I couldn't tell what exactly was in her hand, but Blue was barking at her. And she doesn't get near strangers, but she will bark. If she needs to defend, you best believe she's going to defend you. But she was actually barking at someone, intruding. And when I look, the lady noticed that I saw her, and she completely retrieved herself and just ran out. And at this time, I kind of like felt irritated from a lot of things that had already happened, so I went straight out. And by the time I got to the front yard, my brother was actually parking himself, and he saw my face. He was just like just a serious face, and he was like, what's going on? And I'm like, well, this neighbor. And I told him exactly what happened. And he's like, well, you know what, I'm going to call the landlord, and next time you see her doing that, tell her you're going to call the cops. And I'm like, I am going to call the cops. I'm not just going to say that. I'm like, well, do so. And so he got with the landlord, and at this time, I hadn't called the cops, and I know I probably should have. But it's like, okay, that probably happened. It might not happen again because she got caught. Well, coming back to my house, I see her staring straight through the fence, because we have like these wooden fence, but they have like little gaps. And she, I guess, thought that I could not see her, but I could clearly see her. Like, I'm seeing you standing, and you're staring straight at me. And Blue begins to bark again, but not near the fence, just next to me and not letting me get near the fence. And I look at her, because this time it wasn't in front of the gate. It was next to the fence, like where the wooden fence is, not through the see-through fence where she was standing at first. The see-through fence, I mean the gate. Like the gate had like little metal bars. She was standing on the wooden side, and I'm like, can I help you? And she's like, your dogs bark a lot at night. My dogs, first of all, sleep inside. Like, they're inside dogs. I don't care how big they are, they're my babies. They sleep inside. Every one of our dogs sleep inside the house. My big girl and my fluff ball, they sleep inside my house. They have their bed. Their bedtime is when I go to bed, and that's at 8 or 9 o'clock at night. But even before that, they get fed at 5 p.m. They go to the restroom at 6 p.m. They're in at 7. We're chilling until 8 when we go to bed, because they have a bedtime just like I do. So this is when it gets real. I turned around and told her, my dogs sleep inside. Thank you very much. And I went inside, pissed off, like I felt like I was gonna lose my mind. I would go back inside. My mom asked me what happened. I told her what happened. She tells me the same thing, call the cops next time you see her. And yes, I was ready to call the cops. Come the next day or the day after, I'm not good with dates, like I said, I get a banging on my door, and all I hear was my mom yelling. I don't know how I got up from my bed, ran downstairs, because I was like, something bad is going on. For my mom to be knocking at 3 o'clock in the morning is because something bad happened. I imagine that she was feeling bad because she wasn't so health-wise, she wasn't really doing well, or that my sister Teresa, who was visiting, was like bad again because she health-wise she wasn't good at either, or something happened to my dad. So I run downstairs and see what the heck is going on, with my heart pumping. And as I rushed through the door, I'm going to post the pictures right here, even though I was actually told not to post them because it was under investigation. But I'm not sure what's going on with the investigation right now. I'm hoping that they're still investigating. I'm not saying this was my neighbor because I cannot say that. We do not have proof of anything. But suspiciously, my car lit on fire. And when they checked the cables and everything else that was checked from the car, nothing ignited the car from the inside, from the cables, nothing. It looks like somebody actually ignited the fire from the gas tank. So this is so far my crazy neighbor story. You guys tell me what you guys think below. I think it's insane, but the marshal and the investigator were actually was able to confirm that the fire was intended. It was actually caused. It wasn't an accident, and it wasn't that it was ignited. And I didn't even have insurance on that car because we were fixing it. So that went to shit. So tell me below what you guys think. All right. This is just story time number 1. Hopefully this is the only one that I have to tell you guys, because yesterday we were threatened again on the 4th of July. I was gonna miss the whole part. I was not gonna tell you guys what exactly happened yesterday. So yesterday, it was the 4th of July. Everyone was throwing fireworks, except that the neighbor only came up to us. Sorry, I was interrupted by Andrew. Okay, so the neighbor actually told us that she was gonna break every one of our windows from each car of ours, and that's why our car was burned. Her words, not mine. I called my investigator, let him know. Well, I left him a voicemail, I haven't gotten back from him, but I did let him know that she made a direct threat to us, saying that she was going to break each and every one of our windows, and that's the reason my car was burned. I'm not saying that it was her. It's just very odd. I have had no other issues with anyone else besides her. And before we get to conclusions, we don't know exactly what's going on in her life. However, she threatened us yesterday, so I did call the investigator and let her know, hey, she said this. I would like you to talk to her so that she could calm down. We did stop throwing fireworks because I'm like, I don't want to. I mean, our cars are covered with insurance this time, or all of our cars, because mine wasn't before. But we don't feel like going through that process. We don't want to make anybody angry. We're just trying to live life, live happy, and no drama-free life. But this happens, shit happens. But this is our story of our crazy neighbor. And comment below what you guys think. What do you guys think that actually happened? Because I have been wondering for months, and I was kind of a little paranoid that I'm like, I don't want to be driving down the street, all of a sudden my car lights up on fire. So in a way I felt like, okay, well, cars sometimes don't just light up on fire. Sometimes they're ignited. So my car was ignited. We're not sure who or what happened. The cameras, sadly, I think one of my neighbors had a camera on, but they weren't able to tell who exactly ignited the fire. I don't know what happened. I don't even know if it was facing my car. We have cameras now. You best believe we have cameras that are actually capturing everything now. But we don't know what happened. So if she comes and throws rocks, we're gonna know, because we do have cameras and they are working this time. So, well, you guys, like, share, and subscribe. Bye.